Live.
Okay, guys, we are live. So there's about a 40
Can you guys all hear me?
Yes.
Great. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome to our call.
delay, but I would just like to welcome everybody to with Jane. And I've got my hot chocolate. It's in my BBYO mug, and we're very excited to start answering your questions and telling you a little bit about what's going on with the International Order. So if you go to the YouTube link, there's a little box there that asks you to be a part of this conversation. And you can click to join the audience for the Hangout on air and submit more questions or comments in the Q&A section. So let's just start answering your questions, but first let's introduce our guests.
Jamie, would you like to start?
I'll start. Hi, I'm Jamie Marquis, and I'm from Cotton States region, and I am the regional Mosque on Gizbarit.
Fantastic. Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren Heiss. I'm from GMR, and I am a part of the GNC.
Michael?
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Strauss. For those of you who do not know me, I am the regional Giz report of Central Region West, number 45. I believe that's all.
Fantastic. And Sam?
Hello everyone, my name's Sam. I'm from SJR. I'm regional Mosque here, and I'm also on the GNC.
Wonderful. So Ronnie and I received all of your questions. Thank you for submitting them. And we organized them by theme. So instead of tackling them in order, we're going to tackle them by theme. So Ronnie, what would you like to start with? Okay, Ronnie is not here. We're going to start with all the communication questions first. So we received like many questions about not only just like communication within your regions and in your chapters, but communicating with counterparts, how to communicate with other regions and other people that you're working with. So one by one, Ronnie and I are going to tackle all of your questions. Can somebody that is on this call right now, Jamie, Lauren, Michael, just shoot Ronnie a quick message that she cannot be heard?
Yes, I will.
Fantastic. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to give Ronnie one quick second to see if she can hop back on this call, so we can do this together. But if not, we'll have to go without her.
Oh, she just chatted.
Just kidding. Go on without me. Great. So the first communication question that we received is, what are some ways to initiate a program with another international region? That is a great question. And by international region, I'm assuming that you mean like an international community outside of North America. But if not, then like the methods I'm about to tell you can be applied to like other regions within North America as well. So for working with like a region outside of North America, all you have to do is contact Ronnie or I. And from there, just tell us which region you'd like to work with, which region you'd like to program with. Ronnie and I have all the contacts in all of the other regions, and we can set up a program between you and another international region. And how it would work is we'd have you work with one of the members from an international region to create a program together. Ronnie's back. Hi, Ronnie. So we'd put you on a call together, like a Google Plus call, so you guys could then work together and like build a program that would be best for both regions. And then from there, Ronnie and I would work with you guys to help make the program the best it could be before everybody executes it. So all in all, like if you want to have a program with an international region, you're going to have to just contact us first. And then we can help get everything started for you.
Next question about communication is, what are good strategies for enforcing deadlines for your counterparts in your region? And we were thinking that it's great to have constant reminders. You want to text your counterparts about a quarter way through the deadline time and remind them and ask them if they have any questions. And call them halfway through and ask about their progress. Call them 3/4 of the way and ask about their progress and see if they have any questions. And then call or text them right before and make sure that they're ready for that deadline so that you don't have to extend it. And by the way, for our speakers here, if you guys want to answer any of the questions, feel free to jump in and answer any of them.
Okay. For that one, I'll go ahead and go. for that one, it's really helpful to like give incentives. So for example, like sometimes I'll give like an early deadline and then the actual deadline kind of like early decision, regular decision. And like if they do it like 2 days earlier, I'll give them like a brownie at the next convention or something like that. Like it gets them thinking about it.
Is that mostly for your counterparts?
Yes.
So you recognize your counterparts and then they want to do better. I like that. So the next communication question, Jake, do you want to take it?
Absolutely. So the next question is, how do you get more girls to answer phone calls, and how do you communicate with girls without having to call them? Great. So,
And it applies to guys too.
yeah, well, absolutely. So getting more girls to answer phone calls, if you're talking about chapter members, members of your region, or counterparts, the best way that you can ensure that people will be picking up those phone calls is if you build a personal relationship with them first. And when you're on a call with them, not only ask them and talk to them about the BBYO work that you have to do, but also just about their life, about their day. People really appreciate when you have to call them, when you also just talk about other things too. Just make sure that you smile when you talk on the phone, be bubbly, make them happy to hear your voice. And then in ways to communicate without having a call, something that I know Josh Loveloff does and CRW does as a whole is their chapters produce a weekly just short video promoting like programs for their chapter and just post it in like their chapter Facebook page. You can run a Remind 101 texting system, or like Ronnie does with everything, making an ad and sharing it everywhere, like a small PDF that you can then put on Facebook, send in emails. They're very flashy, they're very effective. Does anybody else on the call have any other ways that you can get more girls to answer phone calls or communicate with people without having to call them?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, Jake. I think that like after you make a personal relationship with them, calls will be like a lot less awkward, and you won't hesitate before calling them, and you won't like feel the need to have to text them. You'll just go straight away and call them and talk to them personally.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Great. Ronnie, would you like to take the next question?
Sure. So still on the topic of communication, Monica in Eastern Region asked about how iBoard can have better communication with chapter members and just any member in the order. I'd love if you could give me, if you're on the call, just type in the Q&A section and give me a little bit more clarification about what you're asking for with communication between the board and regular members. We have a lot of GOSK-wide calls and a lot of network-wide calls to inform you guys about what's going on internationally, and we've had a lot more this year than we did in the past, and we're trying to up communication, so really if you could just give us more feedback, we're happy to open up any communication that you want. Jake, you want to go on?
Great, absolutely. So the next question is, what do you do when you're trying to recruit someone and they don't respond after multiple attempts? And a second part to that question is, how do you go about gaining new members if you don't live in a very Jewish area and the people that are Jewish aren't really interested? That's a great question. So for the first part of the question, we spoke with the International MIT Mom about the answer, and what she said is the best practice is to just wait a few weeks to contact them again, and then if they still don't respond, you'll have to set them free, because if they're not interested at first, and then if they're not interested after a few weeks, there's like no signs that they'll ever really be interested.
Well, they might be, but you don't want to turn them off with BBYO.
Exactly. You don't want to just keep pushing them. What I recommend is if you can find out what that person likes, their interests and their passions, find somebody in BBYO that you know that has those same passions so they can kick off a conversation together. That's a great method of like getting new people together that like really enjoy the same things. And then for the second part of the question, which is how do you go about gaining new members if you don't live in a very Jewish area and the people that are Jewish aren't really interested? I think the best way to do it. Yeah, go for it, Ronald.
I live in an area that doesn't have a lot of Jews, so I totally understand that. But there are a few, and they weren't really interested because they don't have a lot of Jewish friends to begin with. So I used that to my advantage, and I was like, well, I have a lot of friends, and I'm friends with this girl. Her name's Sarah. You should meet her. And we just went out for some yogurt. And I asked the girl that's the most bubbly in my chapter to come and talk to her, and they just became friends. And then she wanted to come to more programs because she realized it's a great way to make friends. So we first got her with the froyo, and then we brought her to the Jewish stuff.
Does
you guys
anybody
have
else?
any advice on that?
Well, I would agree that the best way is to start off by going for a more social, like, kind of way to get them wanting to come back, because once they find out that there's really awesome people in it, they'll want to keep going, and you won't turn them away from having like a social action program the first time where they don't know what's going on. So by starting off with a social event will really get them to keep going, and it works well.
Yeah, so even if your chapter isn't having a scheduled one, you can make an impromptu one that isn't like a BBYO function.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have anything to add, or do you guys want to move on? Okay, we'll move on. The next question is, how do I encourage people to write for my chapter's newspaper in creative ways? And then she asked to talk about the uses of social media. So when you want people to write about something for your chapter's newspaper, it might be best to not come at them and say, hey, will you write this article? Because to them that just sounds like work. Maybe first talk to them about something that they're doing and see and get interested in it and ask them more questions, and then be like, wow, this is so cool, like you should tell the chapter about this. Do you want to maybe write an article for the chapter newsletter? And then they see that as an opportunity rather than something that they have to work for. And then the question with social media, actually, I don't know if anybody from Red River Region is on this call, but Red River Region is having a competition on Twitter to see who can get the most followers. And a couple have asked me to retweet their tweets and favorite them so that they can get more followers. The best practice on social media is to use it to your advantage, to use it for a good cause. So maybe if you research your chapter stand-up program or chapter stand-up cause a little more, you can tweet facts about it and get people to side with it, get people to understand it and support it. And then you'll gain more followers, and more BBYO accounts will want to retweet you so that you're more well-known. Or tweet about what's going on in your chapter, or tweet about an alumni of your chapter that's doing something awesome now as an adult. Just really like use the power that you have for good. Does anybody else have any suggestions on that too? Anyone?
Great. Moving on. So the next question is, how can you ensure that each chapter has strong communication? That is a fantastic question, and pretty much like the base responsibility for every regional Mazkir and chapter Mazkir in the order. So what I recommend is using consistent forms of communication. A weekly email is what my chapter uses, and it's very effective. We just send out an email every Monday just about the upcoming programs for that weekend. Thank you, Jessica, for tweeting at me that I'm actually sitting by a fire for the fireside chat, of course. So consistent forms of communication, and then along with that, also having multiple forms of communication going out to your members. So not only having an email, but having a remind one-on-one texting system, making videos about like your upcoming events for your chapters, and then for regional Mazkirian, a great method that you could use is having your chapters like compete to have the best communication. Something that I know that CRW might start doing is, let's say if a big event is coming up, they're going to have each chapter produce their own promotional video, post it in the regional page, and then the video that gets the most likes is going to win a certain prize. But just like little things that you can do to have multiple forms of communication going out to all of your members, that is the best thing that you can do, because the more the merrier. Does anybody else have any comments?
I would comment that snail mail is not like underrated. It's actually really fun still to get things in the mail. And so for like if you're like a chapter Mazkir, like big events coming up like an intake or like just a really big event, I would send out like a really cute like flyer. One sec. What, Dad? Okay, bye. Sorry, my dad just like I don't know. But I would just say like snail mail is really fun to get, and like you can like tweet the flyer too, so it has like multi-purposes.
I also want to chime in that it's important to understand that not every chapter is going to work as best with like with the what am I trying to say? Like if Remind 101 works for one chapter, that doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to work for another. Like I know that my chapter loves using traditional emails, traditional weekly emails, but other chapters in my region that just doesn't work. So it's good to keep in mind that something may work for one chapter, but definitely won't work as well for another.
Thank you. And that also reminds me, something else that my chapter does and many other chapters do is like creating and executing a phone caller system called the Kavanim. And they assign like a certain number of members to each Katvan, and then as the Monday email goes out, the Kavanim also call all of their like assigned members and tell them personally about the upcoming events. Sorry, one second. Sorry. And why that's effective is like while mass communication is a great way of getting the word out, when people receive a personal form of communication, a personal text or a personal call, it makes them feel really good, and it makes them feel more welcome at events. So that's definitely something else that I recommend. Are we
Great.
good?
So I think we're done with communication. If anybody has any more questions with that, they can write in the Q&A section. If you click on the Be Part of the Conversation part on the YouTube video. And before we move on to ISF, I'd just like to make a few announcements. We have 15 people watching now, and let's get the number up. Like, let's get more people watching. We've got about 500 to 600 counterparts in our network. Let's get more of our counterparts informed. So text your counterparts right now, tweet about the call, do whatever you can to get the word out. The link is tinyurl.com/127McGosk. And also follow VAZA, Virginia Council AZA on Twitter. I promised the Mosquito that if he got the number up, I would give him a shout out. So go ahead and follow that account. So now I think we should move on to ISF. Jake,
Great.
you want to start with the first question?
Yes. So the first question is, how can we get people pumped about globalization if they have no interest? And what has been the most successful chapter ISF fundraiser you've seen? Both fantastic questions. So in terms of getting everybody pumped for globalization, you need to tell your members that globalization is for everyone. A common misconception just about globalization and BBYO in general is that globalization is a separate track, just like recruitment is a separate track for people, or Judaic programming is a separate track for people. And one point that Ronnie and I really want to drive home for you guys is the fact that globalization isn't just about learning about people in other countries, but it's about sharing your passions with people from other countries that share the same passions that you have. So the best part of globalization is talking to somebody in Slovakia and saying, do you know what, I really love helping my community. And that person in Slovakia is like, no way, I love helping my community too. And then you guys form a friendship, and that's the most special part of globalization. So what I recommend is, for getting people pumped about globalization, is running a globalization program and having your members talk to members from other countries about similar passions that they share. That is a great first-hand way to just get people really excited about what we do globally. And Ronnie, do you want to talk about the most successful chapter ISF fundraiser you've ever seen?
Yeah, actually, so the best ISF fundraisers are the ones that incorporate the why into them, because people are more likely to want to fundraise and want to get more money for a cause that they care about. So if you incorporate a fundraiser into a program and make it kind of a competition to see who can raise the most money after you teach them a little bit about globalization, about ISF, about our Jewish communities, or introduce them to a teen in another country, so that they understand why they want to bring them over, that's going to work best. So if you have a Taste of BBYO event, which is a bigger event where you bring food from other countries and you invite parents and you maybe Skype with a couple of teens and have a donation box in the back and charge for entrance, that'll raise some great money and that'll educate people a lot too. Or if you have bake sales for the Balkans and you teach people about the Jewish community in the Balkan countries, that'll teach them a lot too, and it'll still bring in money. How about you guys? You guys have all fundraised some money. A lot of you are your regional Gisperim. Do you have any ideas on ISF fundraisers? Michael Strauss?
Yeah. So in my region, Central Region West number 45, every year at the convention we have this fantastic fundraiser where we literally auction off the opposite gender regional board members. So the BBG board members go to the AZA chapters, and the AZA go to the BBG chapters. We do that at the regional business meeting, and then at our conventions, which is either fall convention, spring, co-op. the regional board members for one meal are pretty much the servers for the chapters that bought them, and prices usually go between like 70 and like even up to like $200 for regional board members, and 12 of them like we get over around $1,000 each time. It's easy, it's fun, um, and if you're on regional board, you just gotta, you know, just kind of go with it, do it for a good cause. But like in addition, before you're actually like doing the auction, do like a little program saying this money's going to ISF, which goes to international teams to come to international programs, come to IC, go to summer programs, interact with them, and like learn about everything great about international BBYO, and then people are willing to give more money, and then they're also kind of getting something for it. And it's entertaining, it's fun, easy to do, and I don't see why other people do it. I think that we should do it at IC, and we could buy the international board members. But I'm just throwing that out there. So yeah, that's what we do.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
Something else too, I know that GJHRR has an incredible culture of chapters hosting dances that raise thousands upon thousands of dollars. Max, I know that you're on this call now. Do you want to talk for a quick second about what your chapters do?
Sure. Actually, so about 2-3 weeks ago, there was a chapter in our region. We have a dance every couple weeks, actually, just the way the calendar works out, but there's a chapter that had one, and their cause was Play for Pink, which is a breast cancer research organization. And I actually just got the numbers back today, and they raised $15,600. So many chapters do fundraisers. Pardon?
That's insane. That's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So every year they raise more and more money. They invest more into it and get more out of it. But like they generally, to have such a successful dance, they have not like a steering committee, but kind of like a committee to plan the dance. And it's not just like decorations. Like you really have to think about, like, they do like raffle baskets. Like they did Giants tickets, they did Rangers tickets, they did signed jerseys from Rangers, they did like Beats headphones, they did Ferragamo bags. And like most of you live in communities that you know someone who knows someone. Like it's not very hard if you say it's for like a certain club. Like if you know someone who's Jewish and works for a certain organization or a certain company, it's very easy for you to say, hey, we're running a fundraiser for Global Jewelry, can we get some stuff for this? Or if you like your stand-up cause, ours is my chapter personally, it's Say, which is like a organization that helps kids with speech impediments. So if we went to a local store and said, hey, we're raising money for kids who have speech impediments, like they would say, wow, that's really great, like our business would love to help you out. Like I know that something that our chapter did, like it's very easy, just as an example to get from businesses, our chapter like gives gift cards out every meeting to like raffle off to give to members to get them to keep coming. And so like I went to a local business and I was like, oh, can I buy a $5 gift card? And they're like, you know what, no, we'll give you a $15 gift card. Like businesses,
wow,
if you are showing like that you're trying to help community and like stuff like that, then they're very willing to work with you. And just like I'm sure your friends' parents and your parents can like help you out with a lot of that stuff too. Sorry if I kind of rambled.
No, that was great. Before we move on to the next question, we have a question from Jenny Jacobs, who is a counterpart of ours, and she said that she's watching the call. Q&A isn't really working out for her, but she is currently selling T-shirts for ISF for her chapter, but she hasn't made much money yet, and she's posted in a lot of Facebook groups, and she's tweeted about it, but she hasn't gotten a lot of responses. So really the best thing with that is personal, like make it personal, like call people directly, call people that you know, ask them if they're interested, and then follow up with them and see if they actually want to buy it. When you post on Facebook, people will glance at it, they might think, oh, that's a cute shirt, but they don't have a connection to it. So if you call them and you talk to them, they'll feel a little obligated, and yeah, that might make them feel a little uncomfortable at first, but then after they buy it, they'll love their shirt and they'll forget about the money. They'll know that it went to a good cause, and they'll be happy with their shirt, and it'll be more in their face, but it's still friendly. So yeah, just talk to people directly, talk to people in your region, and make it more personal.
And also, if any of you guys want to create your own fundraiser, Ronnie and I are always here to help you. We can sit down on a call with you, brainstorm and help like plan a great fundraiser for you. It's our pleasure. Like this is what we like to do. So moving on to the next question, how can individual chapters efficiently incorporate awareness and action in support of ISF? That is a great question, and there's one answer: globalization programming. The biggest thing that we noticed about...
Wait. Go on, Jake, continue.
Thank you. Sorry. Globalization programming. But anyway, for any cause that you ever want to fundraise for, you have to realize that people will not want to donate money to a cause that they aren't passionate about or educated about. So in terms of globalization and in terms of ISF, you need to get people excited about globalization and get people passionate about like helping secure the future of our Jewish community and like giving like people around the world like the same great experiences that we have. And only then will you be able to really tap into the potential that your fundraisers could have. So does anybody else have any comments about great ways to incorporate awareness and action in support of ISF and chapters? No? Fantastic. Yes.
Quick thing. So actually, so in the next couple weeks, like our region has 2 councils. So the council, Mazgizes, I guess that's the plural for that. Yeah, are meeting up with our regional director to like discuss like our fundraising thing. But like I don't know, some of your regions might like pledge separate money. Like we pledge a certain amount for ISF and then we fundraise for it. So I'm not sure like if any of you guys like have suggestions for me of what type of events work really well, that'd be really awesome. But like I was talking to Jake a couple weeks ago and we were talking about maybe like state fair type thing, or I really like the idea of the servers like auctioning off board members because we have a convention coming up next weekend, so we could easily do that.
Max, I love how you always like try to like reach out to more people on these calls. That's why we asked you to be on this call. So yeah, guys, like everybody can do this. Like everybody that's watching, and tell your counterparts, reach out to people. We have a GOSK Facebook group. Post in it. Just ask for help. Ask, is anybody working on this? Does anybody want to work on this with me? Anybody want to help me out here? And people will help you out. Okay, so does anybody else have anything to add, or do you want to move on? Okay, we'll move on. So the next question is, how do I find and coordinate an effective fundraiser? Adam Fishman asked that from Liberty, and in the GOSK resources folder that we have on Google Docs, the link is in the Facebook group description, there's a PDF there called the longest list of BBYO friendly fundraisers or something of the sort, and it's scheduled by, it's like listed out by how long it takes to plan. So use that. If you want to use some as an idea and then change them, do that.
Also building upon that, yes, the most important part in like planning a fundraiser is the promotion process, because if you don't get people to participate in your fundraiser or buy your t-shirt or come to the event, then you're not going to raise any money. That's the part that you should be focusing most of your energy on, is how you're going to be reaching out to the most amount of people you possibly can. And there are like many like different ways and methods that you could use to like get the word out about your program, whether it's like personal flyers and passing them out at events, or utilizing social media, or calling people personally. There are so many ways that you can use to get the word out, but when planning a fundraiser, you need to make sure that you give that the most love. Does anybody else have anything to say? No?
Okay, let's move on.
Fantastic. Ronnie, would you like to take this next one?
Okay, the next question. I'd love to. Okay, how can you create a fundraiser that is successful but also small in a short amount of time? What we just talked about. What are the key ways to communicate about a fundraiser to your community? Okay, so fundraiser for your community. If you are having something in the JCC or in a community building or at a grocery store or something, ask them if you can put flyers there, because chances are people that go there one day will come another time. So people will know to come back at that time and on that date, and they'll come. And also, if you want to email out the families of your chapter, like email their parents and ask them to invite other people. So if you want to create an ad, send it and make it easy for people to pass on the information. Maybe make a deal that if they bring a friend, they get a discount or something. That'll raise attendance. And then the other question is, how can we incorporate ISF fundraising into social action as well? Okay, so social action. when you reach out to people, right? So if you want to have a community service event that is about a global issue, not even about a Jewish issue, but a global issue, you can totally do that and then give half the money to ISF and give half the money to an organization that focuses on that issue. And that's globalization, that's social action, and that's ISF fundraising. Also, if you want to just educate the community and advocate for something, I mentioned earlier bake sales for the Balkans or bake sales for Bulgaria. Write down a bunch of napkins, facts about Bulgarian Jewry, and hand it out with a cupcake when you sell it. That's educating the community about Bulgarian Jewry or Balkan Jewry or any other country, really, raising money and raising money for a good cause. Anyone want to comment on either one of those questions?
Yes, please. So ultimately what I was saying earlier is when creating a fundraiser that's successful but also small in a short amount of time, to do that you need to reach out to the most amount of people. That goes back to what I was saying earlier. And also something that you could do is you could create a spreadsheet with your entire chapter roster and say you ex-chapter member, need to contact 5 people that you know about our fundraiser and get RSVPs back that say, yes, I'm going to attend, or yes, I'm going to buy this shirt, or yes, I'm going to participate. You can make this like a mandatory thing for your chapter or make this a competition, and you could literally see the list of everybody that knows about this fundraiser build before your eyes, 1 month, 2 weeks, 1 week before the fundraiser actually happens. And that's also a great way of getting all your chapter members involved too. So, yeah. And does anybody else have any other comments?
I'll go. I would say that like when you want to promote something really quick, parents can come in really clutch. Like Jewish mothers love to talk and they love to like, sorry, these headphones are messed up. Like they love to like promote their like kids fundraiser or whatever. So I would just like try to get in on the like Jewish mother like gossip circle, like Starbucks, whatever. So adults.
Jewish mothers come in really clutch. I like that.
Yeah.
Someone tweeted.
Yeah,
I
I agree a lot with the whole parents thing. Like I don't know if any other region does this. I'm pretty sure you guys do. But my regional director every once in a while sends an email out to the parents, and in that it's just like a list of like chapter fundraisers coming up, regional fundraisers, social action events, stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure most of you have that. Just make sure your regional director and regional board knows that you guys are having a fundraiser, and I'm sure they would be more than willing to help you promote it and get the word out to the community.
Fantastic.
Anyone else want to add? Jake, you want to take the next question?
Yes. So ways to fundraise for ISF regionally, because since I am on the Regional Globalization Committee, I want to know some good ways. Also, I wanted to discuss globalization as a whole. Okay, so ways to fundraise for ISF regionally. There's like a whole long list of different fundraisers that Ronnie was referring to earlier that's in the GOSK Movement Resources Google Docs folder. It's a great document. I looked through the entire thing, and it, like Ronnie said, it separates all the fundraisers into how long it takes to plan them. But like a very popular fundraiser that Ronnie and I are helping other regions coordinate right now is the ISF raffle. Stay on the call because Ronnie and I will be discussing this later, and we want to help as many people as we possibly can execute these great raffles. And quickly, just to touch on what it is, Ronnie and I could give you the ability to raffle off free room service at IC or backstage passes to the performer, or the ability to pick a roommate at IC. But Ronnie and I will go into the details later. And the second part of the question is, I want to discuss globalization as a whole. Well, I love discussing globalization, but I don't know exactly what you want to discuss within globalization. I guess Ronnie and I could give you some fun updates about what's going on. Ronnie, would you like to start?
Well, actually, if she wants to learn about the other countries and our other communities, coming up we're going to have a whole call about this called BBYO Live, where you can just learn about how Jews live in other countries. So stay posted for that, and we'll fill you in on details once we have it scheduled.
Awesome. But really quickly, just for you, Julia, I can tell you that Georgia, the country, sent us back a video after we reached out to them. I hope you saw it. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah, watch it. It was so cool.
I've been listening to the soundtrack to that video like every day in school, like doing physics homework to that song, and it's got me so excited. And also we've been working really heavily with Uruguay, and they are so excited. They have 14 people going to IC. they are really diving into what BBYO is and working with us. And hopefully sooner than later, we'll have a call with more boys from Uruguay, since we've mostly been working with the girls. And if you'd like to participate in this call, let us know, because we'd love to get more people involved.
Just like
so
a
the next
fun call
question.
for you to get to know people.
Yeah. So the next question is, what are some of your favorite fundraiser ideas that are unique and not used very often? Ronnie, would you like to start?
Okay, so big ones that I like are Taste of BBYO, where, like I mentioned earlier, you bring food from other countries. You can get chapters to do that, and you Skype with a teen in another country. You invite parents, and you maybe have a donation box and charge entrance fees. That'll raise a lot of money. Or run dance-a-thons, and even like competitions between chapter members to raise money, where like you go to an event and you say, everybody go out, try to raise as much money as you can for this cause, or they have to go out and like sell as many as they can. When they come back, the group or the team that raises the most gets some sort of prize. And for global events, I really, 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 really want a region or a city to hold a glow run for globalization, like a 5K. Oh, my power just came on. Sorry, guys, my power went out earlier, right before this call. Oh, and it's out again. So a glow run. I could use some glow sticks right now. And if you want to know more about that, contact one of us, and we can totally fill you in. Do you guys want to talk about any of your famous fundraisers or favorite ones?
Hey, I can talk about one that we just had last night, actually. So we create lox boxes, and it's very good. So we sell them for $20, and they come with a half a dozen of bagels, lox, cream cheese, orange juice, and like a surprise. But what's good about it, it also it works out really well. So what we turn it into a sleepover. So we all pack them together on Saturday night, and then we deliver them on Sunday morning. So you kind of get to pair off with a younger, older member, and then you that's so bright. And then
Fireside chat.
and you get to do, like, there's fun programming, like senior programs and stuff like that. And we always, no matter, there's no way you can lose money on it. So it's a really good fundraiser that has worked really well for us.
Wait, did you get like the lox and the materials and the bagels donated, you said?
No, I wish, but we have to order them.
Oh. Okay, so you first got the orders for the boxes and then you delivered them, so you didn't have to first buy them. That's smart. I like that. Anybody else want to talk about their favorite fundraisers?
My chapter also does the lox boxes. Hi, it's Max again. And it's like one of the best fundraisers you can do, because like people, especially Jewish people, love to like not get out of food and have bagels delivered to their door. And again, on the topic of like local businesses loving the support, like if you say like, oh yeah, we'll put like this business supplied the bagels, they will give you like most likely a significant discount. Like most local business owners just love to do stuff like that because they really want to get their name out there. Just sorry, on the topic of that.
A fundraiser that my chapter does, well, and has been doing for like a long time now, is a pie sale. You probably couldn't do it this year because we do it before Thanksgiving. We basically just go around to the Jewish community and sell pies, and we sell a lot of them. Like last year, I know we made like $5,000. So yeah, pies, Thanksgiving. People like pies.
I like it. People will buy them for Christmas. And on the bagel thing, like there's definitely a stereotype that Jews like bagels. I'm not like bringing that up newly. But, you know, take advantage of that. Like, go to a bagel store owner and say, we're about to tease a bunch of customers with bagels. Can you donate the bagels? We'll advertise for you, put your name on the box, like Max said, and you'll have customers. They'll be coming back because they'll love your bagels. So it's great advertisement to, like, their target customers. Do you guys want to add anything, or should we move on?
I'll add something real quick.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll go real quick. So something my region does, it's like a consistent small fundraiser that like over the course of a year it becomes big. We have this thing called pephagrams, and what a pephagram is at any meal, someone can buy like a $1 piece of paper and you can write a message on it, and it can be like funny, it can be serious, like people will ask people to formal on them, or like people will make jokes. and you pay $1, and myself and my counterpart will read them after the meal. And like they've slowly become a tradition, so like we'll sell like 45 to 50 at a convention, and so that adds up over the course of the year.
Oh, we
Great idea.
also actually that was really good. I like that you have something accumulating. Miriam Greenberg, Baltimore Council's Gizbarit, just messaged me. She said, I wanted to tell you about a fundraiser that we had. So last year, my chapter did a 2-day Rita's fundraiser for a long weekend in May, and we used the hashtag Ready for Rita's. And it was perfect weather, and it was like a social event and had a lot of fun. And that's a good way to get new members, too. You invite them to Rita's. You say, hey, just come help me out. But then they meet your friends, and they meet more people, and they want to keep coming back. And you raise a lot of money, so that's great.
Oh, what's Rita's? We don't have those in Michigan.
Do you guys want to move on?
Yeah, no.
Rita's is water ice. I love Rita's.
Italian ices, yeah.
Gotcha. I have one quick fundraiser that I'd like to discuss too. I think one of my favorite fundraisers that I've ever heard was from Braden Feinberg, NTO's Giesbohr. And what Braden told me was that for his chapter, he created this thing called the AZA card. And what he did was he went to businesses, local businesses, and set up an agreement where for a certain amount of time, if people purchased a small AZA card and brought it to the store, then they would get 15% off their entire bill. And how Braden advertised this was very, very effective, and I think that's why it's my favorite one that I've ever heard, because he managed to send out press releases and get a lot of local businesses advertising for this as well. He got put on I think it was Good Morning Dallas to discuss about his AZA card, which is really cool. But what he did was on the card he sold advertising space by the square inch. And he also did other little things to get many people involved, and he made thousands of dollars for his chapter, and it's an annual fundraiser. I could go into details. That would take a long time. So if you have any questions about the AZA card, shoot me a Facebook message, and I'd love to talk to you. Okay, so now we can move on. Or Braden.
Wait, can I talk about one more thing?
Yeah.
By all means.
So recently at our convention that was 2 weeks ago, during opening ceremonies, we were introduced to a regional textathon where we had everyone text 5 people and say, hey, can you pledge some money? Go to this link where our goal is $10,000. We ended up making something around $8,750, and then we had another guy who was I'm gonna be awesome and just donate $10,000. So we had a total of $17,000 raised, and by everybody pretty much communally involved, reaching out, texting people, posting on Facebook, tweeting, Instagramming, all that stuff, we were able to get parents, alumni all together to donate money, and we raised just a crap ton. And so that was just a great way to get everybody involved.
Fantastic. If you want to raise crap tons of money, contact Michael Strauss about textathons because they're very effective.
Thank you, Michael, for censoring your language for this live chat.
Moving on.
Sincerely, not sarcastically.
You're welcome.
The next. Oh yes.
No, never mind.
The next question is, why do some fundraisers work very well? Ronnie, would you like to answer this question?
Why are some what are some fundraisers that work really well? I guess that's the question.
I think the question is, why do fundraisers?
Like I said earlier, the ones that you incorporate into a program, because they teach people the why, they might be a little competitive, and they're really just more exciting, and they're more entertaining. And ISF raffles, which we will talk to you about soon, so stay tuned, and funny and all-profit fundraisers. So like I said, the raffles, or in NFR, they just had to tape the regional gadol to the wall, and they sold tape for, I think, $4 a strip. They raised $400, so the gadol was hanging from a wall of duct tape. So makes a lot of money, and it's funny. So really just simple and funny things. Okay. Let's move on to the next question.
Great. So the next question is ISF goals for spring term and spring term initiatives. So Ronnie and I would love to share our goals with you, and this is something that we're going to talk about later in the call as well. But in terms of ISF fundraising and globalization programming, Ronnie and I have the goal of raising 5% more for ISF internationally than we did last year. And also in terms of globalization programming, having 100 chapters throughout the order execute a globalization program. So what we need from you is for you to document all of those ISF fundraisers that your chapters and regions are executing, and all of those globalization programs that your chapters and regions are executing. Every time I send an email out to my regional counterparts, I always include the 2 spreadsheets I'd like you guys to fill out to document those globalization programs and ISF fundraisers. And I know that Ronnie does the same. So from now
So
on,
fill the forms, please. Fill the
please.
forms.
From now on, please fill out those
Please.
forms. And once we start getting more responses,
Please fill out the form.
Ronnie and I can create trackers so we can all watch like our goals getting achieved together. That'd be a lot of fun if we were actually getting responses on these forms.
We're getting responses. We just want to see more because we know that more chapters are having them and they're being recorded. So send in the form. Fill out the form. Tell us about your progress.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So you say you want to raise 5% more than last year. Like, do you have a number from last year that you're like allowed to share with us? Or
yeah, we do. It was about 43,000 last year, and with the pledges now, we're looking at about 40,000. But we are working with our counterparts to beat those goals so that we pass it. Like Red River Region, technically didn't pledge anything last year, and they pledged $5 this year. But they've already passed those $5, and they had their first ISF fundraiser in 2 years, and they're at about they're over 100. And I'm working with their Gizbarit now, Mira, to maybe set up an ISF raffle, which, like I said, we'll talk about later. So yeah, we're trying to get 5% more than the 43,000.
okay, great.
So help us out there.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Does anybody have any final questions about communication before we move on to a new topic? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay. Moving on to questions about IC. These are very fun. So the first question is, let me find it. As Mazkirim and Gizbarim and Sofirim and other stuff, what can we do to prepare for IC, and what do y'all expect from us? I love that you said y'all. We don't say that in Michigan. That makes me so happy.
It's okay. We say
so
it
Ronnie,
in
would,
Carolina. It doesn't make me very happy.
Nothing.
Go on.
Tackle this first question. Ronnie, would you like to tackle this first question? Would you like me to?
I would. You know what? Go for it. I'm still looking for the question on this list.
So to prepare, I think the biggest thing that you can do is get your regions excited. Just as like in GOSK as a whole, because since IC is an international event, it's technically under your jurisdiction to lead the way for your region. So just getting them excited, creating promotional videos for IC for your region, or creating introducing blank region videos to post on the international page to get people excited. And also something I know Wisconsin does is they create spiritware for every single day of IC. And they just give out the spiritware to the regions before they go to IC, and they say, great, on this day you're going to wear this outfit, on this day you're going to wear this outfit. I don't know about you, but I love spiritware. Spiritware gets me so excited. And I totally recommend doing the same for your regions. And granted, Wisconsin just hands out those pieces of spiritware for free. You're probably going to have your chapter members and regional members pay. But even so, that's what I recommend. Just doing the little things to get your regions excited. Ronnie, do you have anything else to add? Ronnie's muted.
Yeah, so you said just raise as much excitement as possible. You guys can hear my dog barking in the background.
Check it.
I'm really sorry.
Check it.
There's an alarm going off because the power went out. So that's great. So yeah, you want to raise as much spirit. If people don't really know all the cheers, maybe work with your coach to make a funny video of you guys performing the cheers so that people can learn them, and send out a PDF or tweet it your lyrics.
Okay, the next thing that Ronnie was going to say is it's
having a GOSK t-shirt.
Ronnie, you're frozen. I'm going to take the rest of this question. You can make a BuzzFeed with the top 10 reasons on why you should win the Spirit Cup.
Okay.
And like what Ronnie said, just, yes, Ronnie?
Oh.
Okay. Um,
Okay,
well,
I'll take
Ronnie,
it back. Yeah, we said make a BuzzFeed with the top 10 reasons why your region should win the Spirit Cup. And finally, for McGosk Spirit IC, then maybe making a McGosk. If you guys could message us later.
okay. Ronnie's frozen.
All right. I
Do
gotta
one of
go.
you guys
Like that.
do one of you guys mind shooting Ronnie a quick Facebook message that nobody can hear her? That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Max. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. See you later.
I can hear you, Jake. Am I on? Me?
Ish. Yeah, now we can hear you. Nope, no, we can't. We're moving on. So the next question is, how does the IC Shook work? This is a very popular question, but unfortunately we do not have all the details yet. But as soon as we get those details, then we'll definitely get back to you guys. We'll be sending it out in emails, posting on the page, because we want to have as many people selling spiritware as possible. So that's just something that we'll have to get back to you about. Does anybody... Okay, never mind. Moving on. So this next question is more of a specific question from you to us. When will IC leadership be officially selected and begin working? And more specifically, with regard to the program that we submitted to Ronnie in the hopes of making it into a Limud program, what is currently going on and what, if anything, should we be doing to prepare? As far as I know, the IC steering committee has fell into a great rhythm of working, producing programming, producing the services. Unfortunately, I do not know about this Limud program that was sent to Ronnie. I can hear Bean, so I can hear Ronnie, if Ronnie would like to talk about it.
Yeah, I already spoke to him individually. It's okay. We can move on.
Fantastic.
I wrote in the notes, disregard.
I'm getting excited.
Okay,
Whatever.
so let's move on.
Okay, so the next...
Okay, so we asked, how does IC Shook work? And then next question.
Actually, the next theme of questions is just questions about our global Jewish community in general. I love these questions. So the first question we have is, it says, I would love to hear you guys discuss similarities and differences between the customs and cultures of different countries. I know this isn't specific, but I think it's one of the coolest things to learn about. Yes. Ronnie and I would love to discuss and would love to go into detail about what all the countries do, but we could have people from other countries tell you personally. So please participate in BBYO Live. It's going to be really fun. We'll get you that information about when it is and all that as soon as possible. And the next question is sexism in the global Jewish community and discussing the pros and cons of American Judaism versus Judaism in countries with less religious freedom. Ronnie. Okay.
Again, BBYO Live.
BBYO Live.
BBYO Live and ENT. And also, later on in the year, we're going to be having these calls called Global Networking Teams calls, where they will be like just deep discussions and like deep, meaningful discussions between teams around the world. So look out for those, and they will be about this stuff if you want to learn more.
Great. So the next category of questions is globalization. This question asks, how can I ensure that globalization is a success in my chapter? And my response is executing globalization programming. That is the best way that you can ensure that globalization is a success. If you want to run a program with another international community, please reach out to Ronnie and I, and we would love to help you. We would love to help you plan a program that you could run for your chapter. We also have lots and lots of resources waiting in the GOSK folder for you that you can use to help make globalization more of a priority for your chapter. And that
also,
answers.
Do small stuff. Do small stuff. Like if you just want to reach out to a person on the GNC and talk to them and just become friends with them. Like everyone on the GNC is super friendly, and they have more friends in their community that they can introduce you to. Just talk to them, add them on Snapchat, and Snapchat them while you're at a program, and suddenly your chapter will feel more connected to this community that they're a part of.
Absolutely. This next question discusses globalization programming, which we have all of the resources just waiting for you. But the second part of this question asks how globalization has and is changing in the order. Our biggest successes right now are with Georgia, that we just got the video back from. Super exciting. And we've been working very hard with Uruguay to like fully integrate them into our BBYO family, and they're all very excited. But just globalization in general, the Global Networking Committee has teams from 11 countries all working together, which is so exciting. And just in general, as a whole, we're trying to make globalization like a really unique experience, not just for North American teens, but for any teen. We're trying to encourage more calls between Slovakia and Argentina, and just countries outside of North America. We want to have that really cool same experience that the North American teens are getting from globalization. Does anybody else have any questions or comments that they'd like to add about globalization in the order, what they've experienced personally? We'd love to hear.
Just talk to people. It's so awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lauren, you want to talk a little bit? Well, actually, GNC you'll talk about at the end when we move into speakers. But you guys will want to hear what Lauren has to say. She's a member of our Global Networking Committee, and she's really interested in it. So reach out to her also. If do you have anything else to add? Anyone?
No.
Fantastic. So then we'll be moving into our final category of questions, just miscellaneous questions for Ronnie and I. The first one is, why are you guys the best ILTC coordinators? Ronnie, would you like to start tackling this one?
Wait, that's so sweet.
I think it's a challenge. I don't think it's them being sweet.
Oh, okay, so we are the best. Why are we the best ILTC coordinators? Well, this is probably the only ILTC that you're going to be a participant at, so I guess we're the best by default. And this is the only ILTC going on this year, so the best ones this year. And we're the best because Jake is a black belt in some sort of martial arts. I never remember, is it jiu-jitsu or taekwondo or karate or something?
Taekwondo.
Yeah, so Jake will teach you about that. And then, Jake, why am I the best ILTC coordinator?
Because Ronnie is the best ILTC coordinator because she loves puns and math jokes. And if you want to make her your favorite coordinator, just tell her puns. But in all seriousness, why we're the best ILTC coordinators is because we're really focused on turning ILTC into like a whole family community setting and trying to bring back that great feeling from CLTC back into ILTC. We're very, very driven to just make sure that you guys make a lot of new friends, take a lot away, and just leave inspired and ready to just tackle any new kind of something that you want to do for your regions or chapters. And also, Ronnie and I are just very excited to meet all of you, become your best friends. We've loved talking to our ILTC babies already. It's a blast. So that's why ILTC is going to be a blast. So anyway.
Anyone want to add to that? Anybody want to tell us why we're the best ILTC coordinators? No? Okay. We'll move on. Okay.
So the next question
Jake,
is...
what is the next question?
The next question is, what exactly is required of the GOSK? And how I start every call I have with my counterparts is, I know that every region is in a different situation, so the GOSK has a different role for every region, and that's my answer for this question too. Depending on if you're a chapter GOSK or a regional GOSK, and depending on the situation that your region is in right now and the circumstances that you're working with, that's what is required of you. It's to like be a contributing member, and whatever that means specifically for your situation. Ronnie, do you have anything more specific to that? Pop quiz?
Yeah, pop quiz. Jamie, what can you give all of the positions that are in the GOSK movement? Name all of them.
That stand for McGoss?
Yeah.
Okay. Maskira, Gisbury, Arafat, Sofranit, Covenant.
Okay, good job. That wasn't this hard. Okay, and then the rest of these are joke questions, but they're kind of funny. So, is one person supposed to be the GOSK, or is it split up between multiple people? Some chapters combine it, some chapters don't. Next question, do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? It's in my heart. I guess. I've got magic in my heart. And the last question here is, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I asked Siri this question, and she actually gave me an answer, so I think she's the most reliable source to go to on this. Anybody else want to answer that question? No? Okay. Let's move on.
Great, and that ends our
Well, we'll
lovely
never know.
question and answer session. Ronnie and I love getting questions from you guys, and even though like the question and answer session of this call has just come to a close, please do not stop sending us questions. We love helping you guys, and we love answering your questions. So yeah, moving on.
Do you guys want... Oh, wait, moving on. We're going to move on to the sections where they get to talk about themselves and why we invited them to join on this call. So Max Kahn isn't on this call anymore, but we're going to start with Jamie. Jamie, can you talk a little bit about your messy fundraiser?
Yeah, sure. So my region, at each regional convention, we have this thing called the ISF Messy Meeting. And how it works is we're about to have a Facebook group because it's in like 3 weeks. So how it works is I would dare like Jake to like shave his hair into a mohawk, I guess you could say. You have to get parent consent for that one, but like so basically you make a dare and then you say like how much would that cost you, Jake, and Jake gives a number and he'd say $250, and then each chapter is responsible for like how much their chapter would represent. So like my chapter would say we'll give $75 to see Jake shave his hair into a mohawk, and then like you do multiple dares, and it raises a lot of money. Like last year I think we raised like $5,000, I think was the number. So it does a lot.
Way to go.
Like ask a question maybe and I'll answer it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions. Yeah, if anybody has questions, just message Jamie and she can answer it personally or on this call. Let's move on. Michael Strauss isn't here.
Sam Eigen needs to go, so Sam, you have the floor.
Hello everyone. Something I did for my region was you could do this for your chapter, for your region. It's actually really not hard, but I made a regional app, like an iPhone and Android application, which is basically like a basis for all communication. It has all the regional events, SJR history, basically everything you could ask for in like one little app. It could be used to like reach out to your counterparts. There's like an endless list of potential opportunities that could happen from it. So basically, the way you can do it is I'm going to post a link in the event, and it's this website. And if you put effort into it, and if you just put some effort into it, you could make a really, really cool app. It just takes a little bit of time, but yeah, iPhone, Android apps, really cool. Kind of impressive if your chapter or region has it, so I definitely recommend it. If you have if you have any questions about it, like feel free to Facebook chat me or do whatever. I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, let's move on. Lauren, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience on the GNC?
Sure. So I can kind of talk about what I kind of went through today or what's been going on is, so the GNC is like a group of more than 40 people, and we're, of course, from 11 countries or so. And
13, actually.
What?
13.
Oh, awesome. Even better. So we're 13 countries, and we are more than just a committee. Like, and you guys have like been pushing it as a family or whatever, and so we've been working really hard we're currently in committees right now, so you're closer to some people over others. And I've had the opportunity to meet some amazing people from Bulgaria and Uruguay, and I've been working really hard on a resource. But so there's a lot of stuff that's coming out soon, and we've gotten like incredible opportunities to talk to people, send a video to Georgia, like just do all this amazing stuff with GNC. I love it so much.
Fantastic. We love having you on it too. And Last but not least, Samantha, would you like to talk about what you're going to talk about? We can't hear you, Samantha. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Okay, while Sam's trying to figure that out, I'll just give you guys a little info on what she's been doing. And oh, is she back? Sam?
Oh, and she's gone. Okay.
She's gone. So we've been mentioning these ISF raffles where regions make a list of things that they're going to raffle off, and then we donate backstage passes to the IC concert, request a roommate at IC, and free room service for a night at International Convention. And they're selling tickets, and it's all profit. It's pretty much all profit. So you can ask restaurants to donate gift cards. You can ask parents if maybe if they have a beach house or something, they want to donate it for a weekend, or even small things like pick your roommates at a regular convention or half off the next regional convention. And they've raised like over $1,000 already because they're doing pre-sales. And then when they have the actual Shook event, they'll sell more tickets and they'll raise even more money. So Sam just joined back again. But I think we finished with her description. Jake and I later will fill you guys in on international updates. We don't want to keep you on for too long. This call has been going really strong, going really well, and we want to thank you for joining us. So we're just going to wrap up. Does anyone have any final remarks?
I'm good, I think.
Love globalization.
Okay. Woo! Peace, love, globalization.
Peace, love, globalization.
So thank you to everyone for joining us, and we can't wait for the next fireside chat. This was our first one, so if you have any feedback for us, message us, and we'd love to hear it. So thank you guys for joining.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.